2K Sports pregame show.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. The fans are filling the seats in San Antonio, the site of our broadcast, and where the Spurs will be going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Well, for Minnesota, they've put themselves in pretty good position in the Western Conference, 6th place. So far this season, it's been a similar showing to what we saw from them last season. Tonight, we get to watch DeMar DeRozan, one of the more prolific scorers in the game. And Shaq, he's doing it without being a major three-point threat.
MRA is always interesting when a guy's getting it done in different ways. MRA stands for mid-range assassin, in case you know. Okay. And excellent on that shot.
Well, he draws the defenders off the double team. His dribble penetration is great.
What? Hey, come on. You're doing so many D's and B's there, man. I can't understand.
Well, I just
So what's he doing?
He's drawing double teams.
And how's his dribble penetration for DeMar DeRozan?
You almost
I almost bobbled that one too.
Yeah,
I almost bobbled the dribble.
The dribble penetration by DeMar DeRozan. That's pretty impressive. That's why I was trying to get it all out.
Yeah. You know a guy who never has any trouble getting any of those words out?
Who are you talking about?
Kevin Harlan.
Harlan. Y'all got me again.
Yeah,
I forgot who
you're forgetting about Kevin Harlan. Yeah.
This is 2K Sports broadcasting from San Antonio as the Spurs take it to the hardwood here at the AT&TCenter. Happy holidays, everyone, from all of us at 2K Sports. And do we have a present for you today? With Greg Anthony and Hall of Famer Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. And we're pleased to have on the sidelines tonight David Aldridge. And, of course, Derrick Rose. We'll see how they continue to fare without him.
And it's a trade that it caught me a little off guard. I have to be honest, Kevin. He played such a big part for this team, and really the last guy I expected to see them move.
And before we get going, let's hear from David Aldridge out on the sideline. David?
Well, guys, Karl Anthony Towns has a different disposition than his predecessor and mentor, Kevin Garnett. The KG said of Cat, "Don't take the smile for weakness." He plays with another type of engine. What they do share, Kevin, is a true love for the game. Back to you.
Outstanding, DA. Thank you. By this point in the season, Doris, certain teams have been hit hard by the injury bug, and the truth is the next man up, the next player up, can be easier said than done.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, Kevin. Sometimes it's not necessarily when the injury happens, it's who has the injury hit. So a all-star level player, an MVP caliber player, can't necessarily be replaced one for one. So sometimes you've got to make some schematic adjustments, and sometimes you've got to rely on the whole to pick up the one big star that's gone down.
I always thought, too, character is really revealed when you start losing a couple players to injury.
No doubt, Kevin.
Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting five on the floor. So on the floor for Minnesota, Teague is at the point with Wiggins at the 2. Karl Anthony Towns is out there with Bell, and it's Covington in at the small forward position. Now here's Murray, following the miss by DeRozan. Covington with the steal. And now the Timberwolves on the break. Here's
Oh, my God.
That's how you attack. Wow.
How'd he do that? Andrew Wiggins should get a 10 for degree of difficulty. That was beautiful.
And a great second look there. Another Unleash Chaos replay. Brought to you by the Under Armour Hover Havoc. Yes, that goes in.
Just such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
We're about 1 minute into the first. Covington against DeRozan. Shoots over Covington. DeRozan's shot is off.
Yeah, but the hand in the face, it's critical that you contest his shots every time down the floor.
Teague against Murray. Teague finds Towns. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Clock at 2 from about 19 feet. And again, it's Minnesota.
That's a great beginning. 3 for 3 from the floor.
Not a fast start here for the Spurs. 6-point game. They come into this one having outplayed the Magic last game.
I tell you what, how efficient they were at scoring the basketball, especially for an away game, that was impressive.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever easy playing on the road, obviously. But that night, they were really in rhythm, shot the ball with such ease and confidence.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And that one falls for LaMarcus Aldridge. And many thought LaMarcus Aldridge was on a downswing in his career, but boy, were they wrong.
You know, Aldridge silenced a lot of critics with his play last season. I mean, in a league that has very few great low-post players, he demonstrated he's still one of the best. Has so many moves and tricks in his game, and when he gets the ball down low, the defense really has very little to do with it.
And the Spurs now in the post-Kawhi Leonard era of the franchise. Greg, how do they recover, do you think?
If any team can survive losing a player of Kawhi's caliber, it's got to be the Spurs. They have good depth, got a good return in the trade, and players will step up. Won't be the power they once were for a while, but they'll rebound in no time. A great job on the closeout, providing a lot of good D on the perimeter.
Well, that's just superb effort on the defensive end. You don't allow the shooter to get into a rhythm from deep.
And guys, he's not an easy man to stop when he's got the rim in his sights.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher. Here's Wiggins after the basket by San Antonio. Rebound by Murray. Walker in the corner. No luck that time in the shot that would have put them on top.
Boy, still not quite in rhythm. Just 1 for 4.
Wiggins kicks to Covington. There's the pass to Towns. Basket is good. He'll get a chance for one more at the line.
Well, battling hard. That's an impressive move by Towns. He'll go to the strike. How about Karl Anthony Towns, guys? At the age of 11, guess how tall he was? 6'3". So it was his goal to develop a complete skill set all the way back then. Boy, how about that? Ahead of the game in terms of the NBA.
And talk about the mindset nowadays. Kids like Towns growing up not content to just play in the paint.
That's exactly right, Kevin. His father would divide their workouts into 2 halves. The first was face-up, dribbling, perimeter shooting. The second half of that workout, the interior, footwork, mic-and drills, finishing over either shoulder. Boy, that's a pretty smart dad.
Well, some deep threats have really made their presence felt around the league lately. The 2-guard spot, these have been the hottest 3-point shooters for the last month. Fourth, Andrew Wiggins.
These guys are gunners. I mean, they've got the green light at all times because of their 3-point shooting. I mean, they are cash money.
You don't want to get into a 3-point contest with any of these players. The range we see among that group is beyond belief. Even against the tightest of coverage, no shot is a bad shot for any of them.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
Fantastic anticipation. Then he shows major explosiveness converting at the other end.
DeRozan gets the bucket.
Well, as always, that mid-range game of DeMar DeRozan, almost unstoppable.
Wiggins against Walker. Wiggins passes to Teague from beyond the arc. No good on the shot. Murray with the defensive effort. And Walker kicks to Pirtle. That falls. Nice feed that time from Walker.
Well, this is the expectation for Jakob Pirtle. His scoring in the post has to be there for him.
Teague surveying the D. He dishes it to Wiggins. To the inside, Bell. And the officials calling for a 3-second violation.
And a chance here to look at the numbers for DeMar DeRozan. 4th in scoring, and he's as opportunistic as anybody defensively, ranking among the top 15 league-wide in steals per game.
And as you said, one of the NBA's most potent scorers, always up to the challenge. His top 5 ranking has him right there with the elite. Outside Aldridge. Murray outside. Shot clock at 5. Here's DeRozan. And another basket for San Antonio.
What a phenomenal quarter from the field. A great shooting percentage, excellent shots. This is really well done.
Outside Teague. Gets it to go from 18 feet away. Teague's got his first 2 points of the night.
The mid-range game of Jeff Teague is on point. Doing work, sir.
Covington against DeRozan. Inside, here's Aldridge, and the dunk by Aldridge.
Well, this is where DeMar DeRozan proves he is the real deal. Not only a skilled scorer, skilled at finding his teammates as well.
Now here's Teague. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Detroit. He kicks to Wiggins. Back to Teague. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. And stolen by Aldridge. And the Spurs pushing it up now. Walker's running. Passes it to DeRozan. That gives them the lead. DeRozan's got 8.
Guys, his consistency in terms of shooting has really helped them seize control.
So the Timberwolves called their first timeout.
I think the one constant with Tom Thibodeau is you can always hear his voice the entire game. Doesn't matter if you're up 20 or down 20, you will hear Tom Thibodeau on the sideline.
So San Antonio goes with a fresh 5 on the floor. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Gorgie Dang's checked in for Karl Anthony Towns. Dang comes in for Jordan Bell. Layman, he's checked in for Robert Covington. And Shabazz Napier subbed in for Jeff Teague. Now here's Wiggins. He's coming off a 25-point game against Detroit.
And he caused major problems with his defense as well. He had 4 steals by the time the game was over.
And hearing Coach Tom Thibodeau, some have described his voice as part growl, part bark.
He's very intense, Kevin, and I think the one thing you know about Tom Thibodeau, he likes to say, there is a price to pay. It's all about the work you put in.
And so it's Minnesota with it after the basket by San Antonio. Draws contact on the shot, and now a 3-point play chance as he'll head to the line.
Andrew Wiggins, the #1 overall pick back in 14. Great bloodlines, the son of pro athletes. The game just seems to come easy to him.
On the free throw, no good. You know, Greg, the game comes so easy to Wiggins, but some say he needs to be more assertive, more aggressive. Do you see that?
I mean, high expectations for a player that was taken first overall. The length and athleticism should enable him to impact the game in so many ways, but, you know, his motor doesn't always rev high enough to take advantage.
Goes to the reverse layup and claps it in. Wiggins has got 10.
And another lead change. The fans are really getting their money's worth here tonight.
Well, this is what they pay to see, right? Competitive, close games are simply the best to be involved in.
And Bellinelli kicks to Mills. A three-pointer is right on target. And the Spurs lead by 2.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
And there's the whistle. Illegal screen.
Yeah, still moving a little bit when he set that screen. He'll argue that he was set, but I really didn't think so.
No, I didn't either. I thought his feet were moving. It was close, but he was still sliding in just a bit.
And it's Carroll with the ball for San Antonio. Wiles passes to Carroll. To the left side wing. Now here's Mills. He's covered by Deng. 6 to shoot. No good from Gay. Minnesota's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Pass to Wiggins. The 17-footer. And again, it's Minnesota converting.
I think tonight is a great measure of Wiggins' progress, scoring in volume in a variety of ways.
They get a hand on it. Wiles kicks to Mills. Carroll passes to Wiles. It's Carroll on the wing. He's still scoreless so far in this one. Pass to Mills. The 3. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. Last time they met was in Minnesota.
And they did win that last game in this matchup. And it seemed they got the benefit of the whistle.
Well, late rotation by the defense, and Wiggins has the vision to find the open man.
Here's Mills following the bucket by the Timberwolves. And here's Gay outside. That's in, and he found his range with that one. Now 1 for 2.
Yeah, that's 2 bombs in a row from long range.
Minnesota calls timeout. This game coming after a loss against the Pistons.
Yeah, it was a rough night for him. A lack of focus, I felt like, led to way too many mistakes.
I think you're absolutely right. Too careless with the basketball. I don't think you can expect to win when you're giving away that many opportunities.
Vonleh's checked in for the Timberwolves. Here's Napier. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game. Kicks to Jang. Back to Napier. Not enough on that one as it misses.
Just a little hesitation on that release, right? His timing looked a bit off.
Now here's Mills. Napier covering. Gay with it. He's coming off a 13-point game against the Magic in Orlando. Vonleh with the rebound.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
The pass to Napier. Just 5 on the clock. Fouled on the shot and picks up 2 points. So 1 free throw coming up.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
He's hit his free throws at a pretty good clip this year, 77%.
Free throw drops for Napier. And last summer, Minnesota's front office saying, Doris, they would like the Wolves to lean more on their bench.
It would be nice for Coach Tom Thibodeau to have the luxury of guys coming off the bench that he can trust. You've got to fortify the bench and then trust them to perform.
Carroll, no one around him. From out on the wing, he knocks it down. Carroll's got it all tied up now for the Spurs. Minnesota's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Napier kicks to Zhang. Higgins outside. Vonleh, the pass to Napier. Great pass to set up the lay-in. Napier's got his second bucket of the night.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash mouth physical basketball, guys.
Now here's Mills. He picked up 12 points in their last win against Orlando. Shoots, and it's good off the back of the rim and in. Napier's got 7 points.
And already you're seeing great execution from both teams.
Well, I like the synergy, right? The ball is moving well, and they're seeing that hard work pay off.
From 20 feet out.
You got to credit Zhang's defense. That miss didn't just happen by accident.
Mills can't hit. To the paint. It's stolen by Carroll. And now in transition is Mills. Here we go. 106 1:07 left here in the first quarter. And they call the foul, so a chance at the line for one more coming up.
How about the concentration? He gets hit, but stays with the play and gets the finish.
Well, with Kawhi Leonard gone, a new era for the Spurs. Even with the addition of DeMar DeRozan, San Antonio looks to be entering their most significant rebuild in decades.
Yeah, but at least they were able to get a star in DeRozan. I would call it more of a reload than a rebuild for the Spurs. Still a lot of talent to work with on that roster.
Free throw good. Mills. And here's Napier. He'll bring it up for Minnesota. He kicks it to Vonleh. Back to Napier. Here's Lehman. The putback. And it's Gay with the rebound. San Antonio's gone 2 of 5 from three-point land here in the first quarter. And finished off by Jang.
Wow, big-time size, speed, power combination from Gorgui Dieng. Wow.
Spurs trail by 3. Mills passes to Lyles. Gay against Jang. With the floater, Gay can't get it to go.
Well, it's been an up-and-down quarter for him on the offensive end. Mostly down, though.
And Jang gets it to go. Jang's got 6.
Yeah, this is the passion we talk about with Gorgui Dieng. Takes the hit, puts it down right in the defender's face.
And here's DeRozan. Really played well against Orlando in his last outing. Out to the right wing. Now here's Mills. And that shot was up in time, but doesn't go in. The basket's coming early and often in the first quarter. Timberwolves lead by 5. Live from the AT&TCenter in San Antonio, you're watching 2K Sports. DeMar DeRozan last season opened up about his battles with depression, hoping to have a positive impact on others.
Other people ashamed to talk about it. Even myself, for a long period of time, people wonder why I was such a quiet guy, and that was part of it, not wanting to speak out about it, not wanting other people to know exactly what I was going through. But you get to a certain age where you feel like it's all about helping others. It's not about you just being a selfish person about the things you're going through. Other people going through stuff as well.
Yep, you love the honesty and the bravery to step forward and tell his emotional story.
Yeah, he opened a dialogue. Kevin Love following his lead to talk about anxiety. Athletes as public figures can have a broader impact than just entertaining, and we see it over and over again.
And thanks again for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we've played through 1 quarter of action so far. And guys, what's your take so far on the Timberwolves?
Listen, early on taking the league, I just like their approach offensively.
I think their play calling has been exceptional. They've played with purpose and they've played with aggressiveness.
And so in the game for the Timberwolves, Teague out there with Nathan. Then it's Karl Anthony Towns. Then there's Vonleh, and it's Covington in at the free spot. And it's good, 2 points.
Moving it around, 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
Spurs trail by 5. And we're about a minute into the second quarter of play. And DeRozan kicks to Murray. Back to DeRozan. Just 5 to shoot. That shot off. The Timberwolves go the other way with it. Passes to Teague. Fires from 14. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Teague's got the lead up to 7 now for Minnesota.
Well, this to me is one of the best aspects of Teague's game. He is an exceptional catch-and-shoot guy.
Here's Murray. And the rejection by Towns. Outside Teague. Here's Vonleh. And the layup falls. And it's a 9-point Timberwolves lead.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
To the middle, here's Aldridge. Can't get it to fall, and he's missed the second after making his first. To the inside. Here's Towns. Good, and it's Napier with the assist that time. 9 points for Karl Anthony Towns.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
And DeRozan, here we go. Misses in close.
Boy, the defense collapsing and throwing him off balance on his way to the cup.
Oh, Teague in position. Trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. Will it go? Murray dishes to DeRozan. Whistle blows, basket is good. So a chance here for a three-point play.
I think I can make the case that DeMar DeRozan finishes through contact like a big man. This guy is tremendous at end-one opportunities.
And one item that DeRozan never seems to get enough credit for is his passing, Greg. He is a terrific playmaker.
Ever since DeRozan became a perennial all-star, his passing has improved. I mean, keeps his head up even while attacking with the ball. Great awareness for where his teammates are in terms of relation to his attack after a double team.
That's good from DeMar DeRozan.
And with DeRozan getting traded, he said he felt backstabbed by Raptors management after they said he wouldn't be traded. At the end of the day, people will do what's best for their own position, whether they're a GM or a player. But you better believe they'll love DeRozan in Toronto forever, no matter what jersey he wears. And that pattern continues, guys. Another heat check, another log on the fire.
Boy, the opposition has got to feel an avalanche bearing down on them right now. They're wiping them off the floor.
San Antonio calls timeout. You know, Doris, when the defense is cutting lanes off, it's so great to have the floater in your arsenal. Something that can loop it up and over these guys, which clog the area you want to go into. And there are a lot of guys that really utilize that well.
I'll tell you, and the ones that have both hands at their disposal are especially dangerous. So you see Steph Curry warm up with all kinds of floaters and awkward spins and things of that nature, and he can finish with either hand. Kyrie Irving can get any place he wants on the dribble, and if necessary, pull that floater out of the bag of tricks. And then you think of the assassin out there in Portland, Damian Lillard. Woo-hoo-hoo, get inside the free throw line, put that soft touch on it, you know it's coming down on your head.
So fun to see. Now here's Teague following the miss by DeRozan. Yep, that one goes. And the Timberwolves lead by 13.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
And finished off by DeRozan.
Well, this is the point where you say, uh-oh, DeMar DeRozan is going to start to get rolling. This guy can impose his will.
T kicks to Covington. Aldridge against Bell. Back to Covington. Towns in the corner. Just 4 to shoot. There's the 3. Covington's shot is off. And so it's Murray who brings the ball up for the Spurs. They trail by 11. Back to Bell. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. Towns. Oh, yes, he did. 5 up and 5 down for him so far.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Here's DeRozan. And it's off from three-point range. Here's Minnesota. They're on a 15-5 run. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Jakob Poeltl. That's foul number 2 for him. Bellinelli, he's checked in for Walker. T kicks to Dang. Pass to Bell. Over Aldridge. And there are the Timberwolves with another bucket.
And this is a shot Bell can make. You give him room, and he'll make you pay.
Towns with the steal. Pass to Covington. Back to Towns. Shoots over Pirtle. Towns, no luck. Spurs trail by 15. Here's Bellinelli, and Luol Deng pulls it down. Now Covington. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. DeRozan passes to Pirtle. And the rejection by Towns. And now Minnesota on the fast break. The Timberwolves again can't hit. Guys, they're looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively, for sure.
And it goes down 2 points.
And they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
Here's Teague following the basket by LaMarcus Aldridge. Goes up the baseline and misses it off the right side of the rim. Spurs shooting at 48% from the floor. Looking good. Here's Murray. Rebound Minnesota. Minnesota with the ball. They're on a 17-7 run. Teague finds Towns. Covington in the corner. No good on the three. Spurs trail by 13. Here's Murray up on top. Teague covering. Outside DeRozan. The second effort, and it's Aldridge with the bucket inside. Aldridge has got his third bucket of the night.
Boy, look at how hard he pursues the basketball. Gets out of his area. Terrific work on the offensive glass.
And the Timberwolves call time here.
And he could tell his guys were dragging a little bit, calling timeout to kind of let them catch their breath.
And the Spurs with some changes. Trey Lyles checked in for Jakob Poeltl. Damari Carroll comes in for DeMar DeRozan. And it's Mills in for DeJounte Murray. Minnesota also making some changes. Jang, he's checked in for Karl Anthony Towns. Jake Layman comes in for Luol Deng. And Andrew Wiggins is subbed in for Robert Covington. And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, since the rise of the Warriors, we've seen a fair amount of soul-searching by the league's other contenders. There is incredible pressure to shake things up. Now, sometimes it can elevate a team, but we have often seen it also can tear a team apart.
It can be fragile for sure. David, thank you so much. Doors are seeing a lot of movement on the offensive side of the ball, a lot of screening, a lot of movement obviously without the ball. Does that require more awareness, not only on the offensive side to make those moves, but also defensively?
Well, I don't think there's any question about it. One of the most important things you can do if you're an excellent defensive team is you start with communication. So as that action starts, the movement and the screening, are the teammates talking? Screen coming right, screen coming left. Do we want to trap the screen? Do we want to make sure the ball gets out of a certain player's hands? Communication in this day and age against motion offenses has got to be at the top of the list defensively.
Well said. He misses the free throw. And Doris, the Wolves, a lot of promise, but how do they deliver?
I think Tom Thibodeau says it best, Kevin. It's the little things. The magic is actually in the work you put in every day. No shortcuts, no easy way out. There's a price to be paid for winning in the NBA.
San Antonio making a switch here. Gay's checked in. And the second free throw, good. Timberwolves leading by 12. Outside Teague. Inside. Here's Bell. Lays it up off the glass. Bell's got his second basket of the night.
I'll tell you, nothing like having excellent interior position and the athleticism to finish. Jordan Bell, step to the mic, sir.
Bellinelli against Jang. Carroll kicks to Mills. Now the dish to Aldridge. 5 to shoot. And good, as it just snugs right down through the net.
And you know, he's enjoyed the kind of day you expect in terms of shooting the basketball. He can bring them right back into this game.
Wiggins outside. And a miss there on the triple. Spurs trail by 12. Bellinelli with it. He's got 5. Mills passes to Aldridge. Gay against Bell. Gay dishes to Mills. Here's Aldridge. And no good that time. Wiggins with some nice D. And it's Teague with the ball, but he brings it up for the Minnesota Timberwolves. On the wing, Wiggins. Back to Teague. He tries for 3. Doesn't get it to drop for him. San Antonio's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Knocked away. 3-on-3. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
Well, you love the assertive attitude with which Jordan Bell plays, understanding how to draw contact.
Doris, with Jordan Bell comes a highlight reel dunk waiting to happen.
You never know what could happen in transition with the tremendously athletic Jordan Bell. This guy's a high flyer, big-time fan favorite, and I love that despite the flash in his game, this guy is a grounded, high-character individual.
And the first one at the line is good.
Well, you think about the Minnesota Timberwolves becoming one of the premier offensive teams in the league. They have a huge advantage in free throw attempts and limiting turnovers. 2 things that have really set this group apart.
Trey Lyles checked in for the Spurs. He hits both from the stripe. And Doris, you look at the Wolves offense. Have they maxed out how good they can be?
I think one area they have to look at is in this age of the three-pointer, they were one of the league's lowest in three-point attempts. To me, they've got to boost that number, and I think they also need to look to attack in transition. They've certainly got enough weapons.
A good board there, Kevin, but overall they're getting slightly out-rebounded.
Wiggins kicks the tee. 6 to shoot. Back to Wiggins. Second chance shot. Here's Bell, the rim-rattling two-handed jam.
And how about the ferocity of Bell? It's admirable. He crashes the boards with such an animalistic nature.
Now here's Mills. Teague covering. Mills finds Bellinelli. Back to Mills. And there's the pass to Lyles. San Antonio needs to get off a shot here. Again, the miss by the Spurs.
I'll tell you, he hasn't been able to find the mark all night. It's a big reason they're staring at this deficit.
Spurs trail by 16. And the wide open shot from Bellinelli. Off target from outside. 1:21 left here in the second. Pass to Bell. Here's Layman. Shoots over Carroll. Takes the 12-footer and hits. Layman's got his second basket of the night. 1:04 left here in the second. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
And here they come. Here's Wiggins. Kicks it to Bell. Pass to Layman. A three-pointer off the mark. Spurs shooting just 29% in the second quarter. The offense is suffering. Bellinelli passes to Carroll. That one's off. He's now 1 for 2.
Boy, a little too casual on the layup. Temporary loss of focus. Not good.
And it's Wiggins missing.
He's obviously still trying to find the range. No success this quarter. You wonder what it would take to get him to pass the ball.
Minnesota leading by 15. And here is Teague. He's got 7. Wiggins dishes to Teague. That falls. Nice feed that time from Wiggins. Teague's got 7 now in this quarter.
I'll tell you, how about a high percentage opportunity from Jeff Teague? As a scorer, you love to get those easy ones.
A dominating first half of basketball, and so far hasn't been close. Minnesota on top, leading by 17. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Greg Popovich. Pop, what do you think was the main issue during the first half?
We didn't make shots.
Thank you for that insightful analysis, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
Okay, David, much appreciated. And now time for halftime. So we'll be back in just a bit to get the third quarter underway.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, folks. Good to have you back. Ernie Johnson with Kenny the Jet Smith and the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome to the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. Andrew Wiggins was the man in the first. He had 12 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. And, Kenny, what did you see out there from the Timberwolves?
Well, they were completely in rhythm shooting the basketball. Just watching the flow of their offense, everything clicked into place. Fantastic shot selection. They took advantage of everything the defense gave them.
Shaq, let's get your thoughts on San Antonio.
Well, their sloppy play really surprised me, especially the turnovers. No matter who they had out there, they never seemed to be on the same page. Their only hope is to make every possession count, and that means taking care of the ball.
Thanks for joining us, folks. We're now just a few minutes away from the start of the third quarter.
A grand view of the well-attended Alamo on a beautiful night as we welcome you back to San Antonio. It is definitely worth the visit. And with a big gap on the scoreboard, the second half begins with very different goals for these teams. One side trying to mount a comeback, one side trying to protect their lead. You gotta like what DeMar DeRozan has done in this game.
Yeah, the first half, what a thing of beauty. He was just living in the lane.
How special is it, Greg, to watch a guy who's able to get into the paint with speed and consistency? They cannot let him get inside like that.
And with the second half upon us, we'll find out if this game becomes the route that it's threatening to be. DeRozan and Aldridge, the talented forward duo. Then there's Murray. Then there's Pirtle. And it's Walker in at the shooting guard position. So that's who Greg Popovich starts the second half with. And so it's DeRozan. He'll bring it up for the Spurs. 17-point game. And the call will be against Jeff Teague. That's his first foul. Aldridge kicks to Murray. Pass to DeRozan. No good on the shot, and Minnesota will come the other way. Teague up top. He's covered by Murray. Teague the pass to Bell. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Teague's got 4 assists in the game.
Well, Jeff Teague knows how to get by and find teammates. That's pretty right there.
Now here's Murray. He's been quiet so far. Still no points in the game. And Walker kicks to DeRozan. Shoots over Covington. And it's off the back rim. No good. Minnesota leading by 19 points. To the middle. Bell's shot is good. Bell's got 12 in the game.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
Right around a minute and a half played here in the third quarter. Back to Murray. Outside Aldridge. Outside DeRozan. Shot clock at 5. Good.
Well, effective passing from your wing players makes for a well-rounded offense. And DeMar DeRozan keeping everyone involved. I love it.
Now here's Teague. He's got 9. Here's Wiggins. Gets that one through the hole. Make him now 7 of 13 in this game.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Walker against Wiggins. Walker the pass to Pirtle. Walker taking his time here. Off target from three-point range.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
Spurs trail by 21. They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Basket counts.
Well, to me, Kevin Harlan, you simply have to defend better than that. DeMar DeRozan has the vertical. He's super efficient in that area.
And the Timberwolves call time here.
And Kevin, he saw his guys just a little sluggish out there. Oftentimes a timeout like this allows you to kind of just reset.
And some changes here for the Timberwolves. Noah Vonleh comes in for Jordan Bell. And it's Napier in for Jeff Teague. Just over 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second half. Napier kicks to Towns. Back to Napier. Timberwolves passing it around. Vonleh's shot is good.
And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
For San Antonio, they've gone 2 of 5 shooting here in the third quarter. Got a piece of it. DeRozan surveying the D. And the pass to Aldridge. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Bank shot, no good. Timberwolves leading by 21. Outside, Towns. Second half here. We're just over 3.5 minutes into it. Here's Wiggins. And Pirtle pulls it down. Pirtle's got his 4th rebound in this one. DeRozan against Covington. And there's the foul. It'll go on Shabazz Napier. That's his 3rd foul of the game. San Antonio making a switch here. Gay's checked in. Knocked loose, and it's out of bounds. The Spurs able to retain possession here. Teams that make their free throws, they're so tough down the stretch. Let's check out the best. In the 3rd spot, the Timberwolves.
You know, it's really a team-wide talent. You want a foul to stop layups, but against them, you're not saving much. They'll make you pay time and again.
Now here's Gay, and he can be counted on to put some points on the board every night. He's averaging right around 13.5 points a game. And stolen by Napier. Wiggins drives in. He gets that one. Wiggins has got 4 points now in the quarter.
And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
Poked away. Napier finds Wiggins. Good, and it's Napier with the assist that time. Napier's got 6 assists here tonight.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep getting it in the paint and continue to score consistently.
And there's the foul. It'll go on Shabazz Napier. That's his 4th foul of the contest. A different look now for San Antonio. Trey Lyles checked in for Pirtle. Pondexter comes in for Walker. And it's Bryn Forbes in for DeJounte Murray. Forbes dishes to Pondexter. Lyles kicks to Forbes. Passes it to Gay. Takes the 13-footer. Minnesota with the rebound. Vonleh's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
Well, he spent 1 year in college at Kentucky, yet Karl Anthony Towns has made such a smooth transition to the NBA. His ascension, guys, has been really remarkable.
For Minnesota, they have shot 80% from the line tonight, going 4 of 5 so far.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
2 shots.
The free throw drops for Towns. And Towns drops them both. So it's San Antonio now. Here is Forbes. Napier covering. Oh, the lob to DeRozan. Towns with the steal. Wiggins surveying the floor. He kicks it to Towns. Lets it go with a three. That one doesn't drop. Now San Antonio takes it the other way. And the foul on Andrew Wiggins. That'll be his second foul of the game.
And now only one away from being in the penalty.
Minnesota making a switch here. And here's Gay. He'll bring it up for the Spurs. Here is Forbes. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. No good from Gay.
Boy, he has been cold for a while now.
Yeah, starting to look like it's taking its toll mentally. He doesn't look like himself.
They're consistently finding ways to get the ball inside and taking full advantage.
San Antonio calls timeout.
Well, I mean, he needs to talk to his guys. The interior defense has been horrific.
Absolutely no rim protection whatsoever. At this point, the other team is walking all over them on the inside.
And looking now at some numbers for Rudy Gay. He's been more than solid over the last month, averaging 15 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. He has been terrific throughout, putting up some huge numbers offensively.
Well, and this is exactly who he is, a flat-out scoring machine. You plug him in and let him go to work.
Lyles kicks to DeRozan. Back to Lyles. Pass to DeRozan. 6 on the shot clock. San Antonio again missing. Minnesota's gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. Now here's Napier. He's covered closely. Inside. And Gay with a clear path to the hoop. Trying to get something going. He lays it in. Gay's got 5 now.
And love seeing Gay get out there in transition. A huge threat to score when he's running the floor.
Timberwolves have gone 7 of 11, a lucky field goal percentage here in the third. Now here's Napier. DeRozan defending. And a fast break now for the Spurs. DeRozan leading the charge. Okogie. Rebounded by the Spurs. Rob. Bates Diop, the pass to Napier. Outside Dang. Over Gay. Misses off the right iron. The Spurs shooting pretty terrible here in the third quarter at around 30%. It's good. He has 7.
And Gay has great length down on the block there. Fantastic at just jumping on opportunities to score when he's down low.
Now here's Napier. He's got 7. Okogie. DeRozan defending. Here's Bates Diop. Sinks the three-pointer. Bates Diop's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
And he found the perfect spot behind the arc there. Big gap in the deep.
And Forbes kicks to Gay. Misses off the left iron. The Timberwolves have gone 8 of 14 on their shot attempts here in the third. Some pretty nice work. Okogie. DeRozan defending. Pass to Bates Diop. Towns at the elbow. Down to 5 on the shot clock. The Timberwolves need to get a shot off here. And the basket by Napier.
Well, he just creates enough separation to get a quality look from the mid-range.
To the paint. Got a piece of it. And now Minnesota on the fast break. Here's Bates Diop. And the shot goes in. Bates Diop's got 5 points now this quarter.
You love to see Karl Anthony Towns with the great decision-making. Passes up a scoring opportunity to find a teammate.
Here is Forbes. Napier covering. Again, the miss by the Spurs.
The defense not doing its job there. Left him wide open, and I'm sure he's kicking himself for not cashing in.
It's good.
Yeah, and in terms of accuracy, they are dominating the second half.
Well, they're certainly connecting on a lot of shots in the second half, generating high percentage looks and really cashing in.
And the Spurs with possession here. After the basket by Minnesota. Gay, that's good. Gay's got 9.
And this is an area where Gay is especially dangerous. A terrific mid-range scorer.
Minnesota's gone 1 of 4 in three-point shots here in the third. Napier feeling it out a bit. Kicks it to Towns. The shot, no good. So the Spurs will take it the other way. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill. Tremendous effort. I mean, this guy has already cracked double digits on the backboards.
You know, and a lot of it comes down to great fundamentals. Establishing position early, controlling the carom.
Dishes to Napier. 1:57 left in the third quarter. And DeRozan sends it back.
Well, DeMar DeRozan, really strong effort on the defensive end, pays off by sending that opportunity back.
1:44 left to play here in the third. Now here's Napier. He's got 11. The pass to Bates-Diop. Good, and it's Napier with the assist that time. Bates-Diop's got 7 points here in this quarter.
That's what you call working inside out. Drawing the defense in close, kicking it out for the open jump shot. Nice and easy.
Towns, the pass to Bates-Diop. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line. And a quick look at how the Minnesota Timberwolves schedule is shaping up. On Sunday, they'll be matching up with Chris Paul and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Then on Wednesday, they'll go up against the Bulls in Chicago.
And that matchup against the Heat, there aren't many other meetings that are as evenly matched as this one. Both teams can give and take punches, and this one, I think, is going to come down to the wire.
The first free throw is good. No good on the second, so he hits 1 of 2. Whoops, they pick off the pass. Deflects the pass. Mills looking it over. To the inside, Carroll takes the assist and lays it in. Picked out the pass nicely.
Well, this score is all about DeMar Carroll getting himself good post position. If you allow him that deep, turn the lights out, Kevin.
Here's Bates-Diop. Carroll covering. One-on-one fast break. Pulls up on the wing. Good as the jump shot falls. Carroll's got his third basket of the night right there.
Well, the best thing there is how decisive DeMar Carroll was. He's going to rise and fire as soon as he touches the ball.
Bell dishes to Wallace to the wing right side. Bates-Diop, the pass to Bell. 5 to shoot. Wallace kicks to Layman. From outside, off the mark. San Antonio's gotten off to a very slow start from three-point range in the second half. They're 0 for 4. Shots good by Mills. Mills has got 11.
Nice pass there to set that basket up.
Now Wallace. Passes it to Bates-Diop. Shoots over Carroll. Can't connect.
The defensive versatility of DeMar Carroll is one of my favorite things. He can guard virtually every position on the floor, Kevin.
And so it's Minnesota rolling along with a 27-point lead as we wrap up the quarter. They've had active hands and have forced a lot of turnovers in this one. We'll get right back to the action when we return. And a moment now as we take a look at our State Farm assists of the game.
And how about the big fella here showing us he's got some point guard skill here with the tremendous setup.
I'll tell you, in today's game, you want skill and decision making at every position.
And with the fourth quarter upon us, time is running out for this game to become competitive. On the court for Minnesota, they've got Gorgie Dang. Layman is out there with Von. Then it's Andrew Wiggins, and it's Wallace in at the point guard. Walker with it, now defended by Wiggins. Walker's shot is off.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
And it's sent back by Aldridge. Ball's knocked loose and stolen by Vonleh. And the dunk by Vonleh.
Well, Gorgie Zhang, as a big man, is an excellent passer. That's a pretty look.
And it's Walker with the ball, bringing it up for San Antonio. Doris, for both charting game action and improving player health, the players now are being tracked by the player tracking devices or chips in their jersey during a game.
I love it, Kevin, because what it enables teams to do is measure the impact and the toll it can take on a player. For example, we now know that player X ran 5 miles on this particular night in this game action environment. And what that affords you is, okay, if you have a back-to-back situation, then you're going to be more careful with that player's minutes the next night. Or if it's an off day, Kevin, you can just say to that player, listen, unless we're doing a walkthrough, you're not involved. I want you off your feet and recovering. Anything that helps the competitive environment that these players are playing in, I'm all for it, Kev.
That was an excellent example. I like that. Here's Wiggins following the bucket by the Spurs. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Spurs will take it. Pirtle, he is checked in for the Spurs. For San Antonio, they've gone 2 of 4 from the field since we started the final quarter of play. Outside, Walker. Shot clock at 6. From deep three-point range, the Spurs rebound.
That's just sheer determination on the offensive glass, beating everyone to the spot for the tip-in.
Wallace outside. Wiggins passes to Wallace. And the 3 off target. The Spurs have gone 3 of 6 from the field so far in the fourth quarter. G League last season experimenting, Doris, with coaches' challenges of certain calls during games. Do you see that perhaps moving over as well to the NBA?
Kevin, my understanding on this is that across NBA ownership, there is real momentum to allow for a coach's challenge. And I think it's commonplace to see teams argue a call. When it's all said and done, we want to get things correct. And so maybe you see this happen in the G League. And what's the carryover to the NBA? I don't know, but I can tell you unequivocally, ownership wants to see a coach's challenge in the NBA at some point.
And I think, Doris, anytime you can make those coaches do more, put more on the line, just adds to the intrigue of the game.
No question.
And the Timberwolves making a change here. Bell's checked in. San Antonio calls timeout.
Let's remember, DeMarre Carroll has been around a long time in the NBA. This guy is a tough defender, and his offense had taken a step back the last few seasons, but last year took on a much greater role and was a big-time locker room presence.
Fourth quarter keeps moving right along. 3 minutes gone so far. Walker dishes to Murray.
Don't let him shoot that.
Gay right side. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Off target on the 15-footer. Timberwolves leading by 20. Here's Wiggins. No good off the back of the rim. And it's the Spurs ball. They're rolling here with a 9-point run. And there's Gay. That's good on the assist by Murray. Gay's got 10 points here in the second half.
He's made obvious improvements since the half, really getting into an offensive groove.
Teague finds Covington. And once again off the mark by Minnesota.
No doubt it's been a rough game for him. I don't think he's going to lose any sleep over it as long as they hang on to the lead the rest of the way.
Minnesota's gone 0-3 so far in the fourth quarter from long range. Wiggins passes to Bell. Feeds to Teague. And he makes good on the layup.
And with that one, he halts an 11-0 run by San Antonio.
Spurs working the ball around now. And Walker kicks to Murray. It's Pirtle top of the key. Back to Murray. They get a hand on it. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. The G League, Doris, growing roster of teams, introduced two-way contracts last season. Is it safe to call it an official minor league at this point, do you think?
Well, I'm just going to say that I thought this was one of the best changes to the NBA last season. And you look at certain players who went back and forth between the G League, and when they were up with the respective NBA team, they were a significant part of the rotation. Quinn Cook comes to mind. The NBA champion had a two-way player in Quinn Cook who was a vital part of their G League and then becomes a vital part of their real-time success. To me, what a tremendous platform for player development, Kevin.
Yeah, the league has gotten it right with this.
And becoming impatient, that's not how you're going to catch up.
Really, that's unacceptable. Patience is paramount when you're trying to cut the lead, and they didn't have it there.
Now here's Teague. He kicks it to Bell. That's tipped.
Very hard to get a shot off over Jakob Poeltl when he's that tight on you. Too much size, too much length.
DeMar DeRozan. He's checked in for Damari Carroll. Minnesota leading by 22. A nice shot by Teague.
They're getting on a roll inside. Their last 3 field goals have come from the paint.
San Antonio's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Murray, the pass to DeRozan. Bell with the block.
Well, the high motor, versatile defender, Jordan Bell, twice on the pipes.
Down low.
And that's 10 straight points in the paint. The defense, nowhere to be found.
And so it's Murray who brings the ball up for the San Antonio Spurs. And DeRozan kicks to Poeltl. Pass to Murray. Doris, you think of all the highlight reel plays we get to see up close. We're so lucky. We feel the same way every time we sit courtside and watch one of these games. One of the most enjoyable parts about it, seeing the reactions of the guys on the bench.
They're just losing it, Kevin. They're falling down and they're bumping into each other, and then seeing the opposing bench trying to keep that poker face. They know they're not supposed to react, but sometimes the play is just so good you can't help it.
And we get out of our seats, don't we? I mean, just like the players do. We get out of our seats.
Oh, no doubt. I'll stand up, wave my hands in the air. Are you kidding?
Shooting 2.
Free throw drops for Covington. And the Spurs with some changes. Trey Lyles checked in for Jakob Poeltl. Bellinelli comes in for Walker. And it's Bryn Forbes in for DeJounte Murray. Minnesota also making some changes. Noah Vonleh, he's checked in for Gorgui Dieng. Dieng comes in for Bell. And Shabazz Napier subbed in for Wiggins. No good on the second free throw. Look at the state of the game. International leagues getting better and better, Doris. There's no doubt about it. We see it at Olympic times and during FIBA play in between. We see a lot of NBA players who have spent time abroad. I think they come back better.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, Kevin. I think wherever you can hone your craft and do it in a competitive environment where winning and losing is at stake on a nightly basis, it has so many opportunities for learning and growth. So, okay, I can't turn it over 5 times in a competitive environment, regardless of what league I'm playing in, because that's to the detriment of my team. If I'm lazy on the defensive end, I'm going to get exposed by good offensive players. To me, Kev, I love any time there's competitive basketball being played. I want to watch it.
Love that answer. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. And a look now at the San Antonio Spurs' upcoming schedule. On Saturday, they'll go up against Russell Westbrook and the Houston Rockets. And then on Wednesday, they'll be matching up with Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets.
And Kevin, I think you have to look at this as an opportunity to take a step forward. Sometimes tough road trips can bring the best out of a team and bring you closer together.
Free throw drops for Covington. Probably no surprise, Doris. Fans would rather watch shots being hit from the field over free throws. So should the league do anything to perhaps cut down on trips to the free throw line?
You know what, Kevin? I don't know that I necessarily think there need to be fewer trips to the charity stripe. I don't like the hack-up player strategy, and I think that we've taken a good first step toward correcting that particular issue. But right now, I like the way the game is played in terms of officiating. My only objection to the way the game is officiated is take away those intentional fouls that are prohibiting fast break basketball.
Here's DeRozan. It's deflected. Vonleh with it. He dishes it to Covington. Over DeRozan. Covington with the bucket. Covington's got 7 points for the quarter.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
San Antonio making a switch here. Carroll's checked in. Minnesota on D. Rudy Gay on the wing. Napier covering, looking to end his cold spell. Bucket is good. 15 points for Rudy Gay.
It's really been a tale of 2 halves, guys. A slow start, but this quarter, he has really been the man.
They grab their own miss. Vonleh kicks to Covington. Outside Teague. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. Just 5 to shoot. The tray. It's hauled in by Gay. Gay's got 6 rebounds here tonight.
Boy, what a tough night. Imagine what their lead would be if he were having a better night from the field.
Teague with a clean look. The three-pointer off the mark.
He just never looks comfortable when he's that far away from the basket.
And that one's good by Gay.
First 3 of the half, second of the game. Can he heat up?
And so it's Teague with it. He'll bring it up for the Timberwolves. Some reports claim, Doris, that basketball is the fastest growing team sport. Do you think it has a chance to overtake football as the most popular sport in the U.S.?
Well, listen, anybody who is covering and carrying the games of the NBA is thrilled right now. The ratings for the NBA are off the charts. It increases in popularity every year. But let's remember the foundational sport in the United States of America is football. And the ratings for football, the NFL in particular, still dwarf the NBA. But the reality is there are challenges that the NFL faces. What those challenges have on the long-term business success in terms of, you know, the concussions and the long-term implications, we don't yet know, Kevin. And if we could all fast forward 10 to 15 years into the future, it'll be fascinating to look back and say, wow, this was a seminal moment for both sports.
Great perspective. Here's Bellinelli after Rudy Gay's bucket. That's tipped. Dang finds Napier. Teague with the ball. And here's Napier. Pass to Vonleh. And there's the defensive 3-second call.
One shot.
And so he hits the technical free throw.
Well, Jeff Teague is a very capable scorer from the lead guard position. He plays with a high motor. He can make shots. This guy is very good at the point.
Pirtle, he's checked in for the Spurs. Mills comes in for Bryn Forbes. Porky Dangs checked in for the Timberwolves. And plenty of contact on the shot, so 2 free throws coming up. Jeff Teague replacing Ricky Rubio at the point guard position for the Timberwolves. Doris, did you like that change?
You know what I did, Kevin? They're drastically different players. Rubio probably the better defensive player, definitely the more prolific passer, but the shooting was always an issue. Where with Teague, you get a guy who can knock down three-point shots, and he's one of the best point guards in the league at dribble driving into the paint and getting some action off that.
And so Teague hits 2 free throws. Doris, last year the NBA signed a deal to broadcast G League games on the internet channel Twitch.
Well, you know Adam Silver is always looking at new methods for broadcasting this great league and the G League. And I think we live in an era of an increasingly digital world. The next generation views their platforms in non-traditional, non-linear fashion. So to me, this is really smart decision making.
I know you're a big Twitch watcher yourself. You subscribe, and like me, you love the G League.
I'm always twitching.
Got a hand on it.
Look at Damari Carroll get in space and block the shot. Defense at its best.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the Timberwolves.
Not only did they shoot the ball better, but they had more assists.
Yeah, I thought the passing in terms of finding the open man gave them the higher percentage shots. The ball movement was key for the win.
And in terms of the season record, this is going to be their 18th win overall.
And they will walk out of here feeling really good about themselves today, guys. A big win over a conference foe they'd split their previous 2 games with.
And as one might have guessed coming into this game, it was indeed another big game tonight for Karl-Anthony Towns.
Boy, I think he made his presence felt in the paint more than anywhere else. This guy's rebounding numbers were outstanding. He controlled the glass.
Dante Cunningham's checked in for Trey Lyons. There's 42 seconds left in the 4th quarter of this one. And Bellinelli kicks to Mills. Here's Pirtle. Banked in off the glass.
Well, the hard work on the offensive glass pays off for Jakob Pirtle. Like to see that mindset from the big man. Goes back up strong as soon as he gets his hands on the basketball.
Now here's Napier. Okogie. And the pass to Jang. Now Napier. Clock at 6. Dang for 3. Carroll with the rebound. Here's Mills. So it's Minnesota winning this one easily. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what? Shocking. I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect a road team to come in and just cruise to the kind of win they did tonight.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Hey, Kevin, thank you. Andrew, an impressive win for you guys. How will you look back on tonight?
It feels great, I think the whole team played great. We shared the ball, we grabbed rebounds, we made big possessions, so I think it was a great game.
Hey, Andrew, congrats again. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Doris Burke, David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.